Previously on Destiny.
We have seen enough. The children of soul cry out for salvation. You promise them life, but deliver only death, as you have for so many before. Enough. Enough death. Enough life. You have no pieces left to place. The game is over. Do not be afraid. Your pale heart holds the key. This time, there is no escape.
In part, we understand a small portion of what the Traveler is. Cryptarch, lore masters, and guardians have continued to throw ideas at the evidence board, hoping they will stick. But the truth is, no one really knew it until now. Unlike its dark counterpart, the Traveler is benevolent. Welcome back, Guardians. My name is Samlab. Today I ask, what is the Pale Heart? Its power is not that of destruction, but one that brings life. So is it possible then that the Traveler will only ever respond out of defense? Have a listen to this armament lore entry titled Chill of Winter. So it reads. They're travelers. Little snowy travelers. Jazla looked down at the snowman again. The lower body with ice pieces held in orbit by twigs, just like what was in the sky behind her partner. It's a coincidence. She knew it wasn't. The torso, deliberately shaded with what? Coal? Blackened on the bottom, just like what was in the sky until a few months ago. We both know it's not. Not after what he drew last week. And now this? One dead traveler. One alive traveler. Another traveler for a head. What's the other one? Jazla gestured at the well-formed sphere a few feet away. Hollowed out, overgrown with vegetation, that the sun had obviously placed there, neatly, deliberately. That one is why I think we need to talk to Lakshmi about him. Jazla didn't look up. She had fought against for so long, but maybe it was time. The dawning, right? New beginnings. A tear disappeared into the frozen ground. It is interesting that the last sphere created by Jazla is one hollowed out and overgrown with vegetation, a murky description, and had I tried to decipher. But this isn't really why the description is important. The reason why is that the depiction created brings two important aspects of what the Traveler is into view. By nature, the Traveler is a gardener, sowing seeds in the garden. This is stated in the Book of Unveiling, where it says the gardener would sow the seed and the winnower would reap the crop. When the Traveler entered Sol, the first thing it did was terraform our planets into habitable environments where life could flourish. and for the longest time the witness has been keenly interested in stopping the traveller from doing this. But why is this so important? We know that the game has gone on for eons, taking place in the garden, which sat within the Prime Universe, the so-called birthplace of everything within the Destiny universe. And since Sol sprang into being, the witness has been trying to ruin, manipulate or corrupt everything the light touches. So frantically, I walked from bookshelf to bookshelf within the Ishtar Collective, and then, all along, it had been there, hiding in plain sight, like a whisper, barely audible, and yet still there. Have a listen to this lore entry from the Book of Constellations titled Suffering. So it reads: something terrible is going to happen. In this dream, a horrible, brutal hand stretches toward you. But this is not the old enemy you knew. It is something new. Something that hopes to use you more than it hopes to destroy you, but it's willing to settle for either. The cage is worse than paralysis of silence. It is worse than the grasping tendrils of dark. It is too tangible. It is unfamiliar. This is not why you came here. This is not what you deserve. The fear is enough to make you want to leave. I am the last speaker, and I dream that the traveller will leave us. It shouldn't be a surprise. The truth has been passed down from speaker to speaker. For generations, the traveller is good. The traveller is sentient. The traveller will save us, and the traveller will leave us. For many, many years I believed that the prophecy of the traveller's departure was misinterpreted, and fulfilled instead by its silence after the collapse. I stopped preaching that final tenet. It only served to frighten people. My dreams, which have always been infrequent and fleeting, came more regularly. They are more confusing than ever, more disruptive. I once so rarely dreamed while awake, but now it happens all the time.
I am silent again. I am gone. I leave behind a yawning void.
My dreams forecast a terrible future, a future without the traveller's light. I see them all falling, guardians and lightless alike, toppled by the traveller's absence. I don't understand why it's happening, and I don't know when, but I know it's coming. The details almost don't matter. I've lived my whole life bringing people into the light of the traveller. I've made promises and assurances all based on faith. I've crushed doubt down into myself as far as it will go. Made myself sick with it. Because doubt is better left unspoken.
I do not recognize my world. I want to leave.
It's an easy decision, in the end. I tell no one, until I can understand better what's coming. Sharing this information would only be dangerous. It would create panic, a mass exodus from the city, maybe the system. If Dead Orbit has any say in it, there will be fear and anger and violence, all based on a dream I can't explain or verify with proof. If I can understand this better, if I can make sense of it, then I can fix it, surely. So I go on, as if nothing has happened. I attend consensus meetings. I discuss hidden intelligence with Ikora. I receive reports and news from our scouts outside the city, and I consult with Zavala. People come to me with questions as always. They ask how to cope with loss and change and fear, all daily realities of this life. They ask how to cope with doubt. I lie. I lie through my teeth and tell them to trust in the traveler.
Empty. Empty. Empty.
The dreams continue. The headaches get worse. But I believe so strongly that this knowledge would destroy our way of life and hold it so tightly that it poisons me. It's all for nothing. I'm in my apartment when I hear the first ground-shaking explosion, and I go outside to see what's happened. I see the Red Legion fleet darkening our skies, and I realize I have made a terrible mistake. When I first read this entry, it seemed chaotic, as if reading the journal entries from a frayed mind. But having seen the recent Lightfall gameplay trailer, everything came into focus. In this entry we hear from the fabled speaker, great leader of the people of the Lost City. Speakers were tasked with hearing from the traveler, but not in words, in visions or dreams. This particular speaker had tried for years to hear from the traveler. That was until one day, when he had a dream. However, it appears distorted. Why? Is it possible that the witness had been trying to interfere with this dream, enough to stop the speaker from warning Guardians and the Lost City? The cosmic tug of war between light and dark is becoming more and more tedious for the traveler. But what would happen when patience runs out? We already know that the traveler will leave us, but it isn't clear how or even why. If that's the case, it is entirely possible that the traveler doesn't really leave at all, but perhaps does what the light does best: transforms. But that's all I have for you. Hopefully you have enjoyed watching and listening to today's video. If you did, be sure to comment below and give this video a like. Consider subscribing and click the bell notification to find out when my next video goes live. And if you would like to help keep the channel going, then consider buying me a coffee, because every little helps. Remember that no matter what you're facing at this moment in time, you can do all things. Stay safe and Godspeed.